Hey loves, welcome back. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. I celebrated my quarantine birthday. So if you have a birthday while we're in quarantine, I hope you are doing something a little bit special with your loved ones. Quarantine birthday is interesting, I'll tell you that. So if you are having a birthday during this quarantine, happy birthday, and I hope you enjoy it, as I sure did. So let's jump into reading. So we are still reading our historical fiction books, and while we're reading historical fiction, we're taking all of those reading skills that we already know about fiction reading and just adding another layer of the historical part to it. So last week, we looked at characters' perspectives and how their perspective is shaped by what's happening in history, what's happening in their lives, who they are, and what's going on around them. So today we're going to dig a little bit deeper into our character and their perspective in the story. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to watch this video. Then you're going to read some more chapters of your book, or reread some parts that you've already read of your historical fiction book. And while you're doing that, you're going to pay attention to your characters' roles, their struggles, their motivations, how they've changed so far. And then I'll show you what your independent practice looks like at the end of this slide. So as we're reading, we're thinking about our character and who they are. And we realize that they have feelings and they make decisions based on what's happening. They're influenced by their world and how they fit into their world. So every character, every human being has their own role. So we're thinking about what our character's role is, who our character is, why they are the way they are, what impacts them, how their family impacts them, how the historical moments impact them. And we think about what struggles they have. What are they struggling with? What problems do they have? What motivates them? How do they change through those struggles? And what motivates them to solve their problems and to keep going? While we're thinking about what their perspective is. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? Why are they making that decision? So you're going to keep thinking about your character and really kind of put yourself in their shoes. What do you think they feel? Why do you think they did that? And try to think about, maybe what would you have done? Like, it was surprising that the character did this because I definitely would not have done that in that situation. Maybe they made that decision based off of and one of their impacts that they have. So while you're thinking about your character's perspective, some guiding questions, some discussion points for you to talk about, for you to think about, is to choose a character in your book and tell about their role in the world. So what role do they play? Who are they in the story? And how does that impact them? So think about like our narrator in The Babe and I. He is a child. He is the son of a poor family. And how does that impact his story? Because it absolutely does. Think about their struggles and motivations. What do they struggle with? What do they find hard? And what motivates them to do better and to do more? How do they think and feel about what's happening in the world? So like I said, our characters have feelings. They make decisions. So how would our character be feeling? So maybe you can think about how you'd be feeling, and maybe your character's feeling a similar way. Maybe they're feeling a completely different way. That's fine too, but they feel that way for a reason. So think about what outside factors are making them feel that way. My favorite character thought and character discussion point is how did they act in the beginning, and what changes are you noticing in their behavior? What is causing the change? So people change. You change. Think about what you were like in the beginning of 4th grade and think what you're like now. You probably are a different kid, and I think your teachers can tell you how you've changed, how much you've changed for the better, how much you've grown, and become more of yourself. So you've changed, even just the course of 4th grade. Think about, who you were in kindergarten to who you are now. You've definitely changed. And things have happened in your life to make you that way. Either it's you growing up, it's friendships, it's your family, what's happening around you. Those things make you change as a person. So at the same time, our character is changing throughout their story. They're changing as a person. Their family, their friendships, what's going on in their life. are also impacting their change. So think about your character. How were they in the beginning of the book on page 1? And what are they like now on whatever page you're on? Are they the same person? Have they changed? Did they do something that kind of balled into a changing and they've been changing ever since? What is going on to make them change? Or have they not changed and they've been exactly the same? Probably not, because we all grow a little bit. So how has your character grown throughout the book so far? So that's my favorite idea about character to think about, is how they've changed. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. So in our Read Aloud, The Babe and I looked at our main character, which is the narrator. We don't actually get his name, but he narrates and tells us the story. So in my handy dandy chart I have here, I wrote the character's name, narrator. That's okay if your character's named the narrator. And then I wrote what is their role and or responsibility. So our narrator is a young boy living during the era of the Great Depression that decides to get a job to help his family. So his role is a young boy living in the Great Depression, and his responsibility is to get a job and help his family. Struggles and motivations. So our narrator struggles with the fact that he only got a dime for his birthday when he really wanted a bicycle. And he couldn't understand why he didn't get a bicycle, why he didn't get the present that he wished for. And he's also motivated to sell newspapers, especially towards the end, to help his family once he finds out that his dad sells apples on Webster Ave. So him realizing that his dad lost his job motivates him to sell newspapers because he cares for and loves his family. So then I'm going to think about our narrator's perspective. How does he think? How does he feel? What is he thinking at the time? What is he feeling? So our narrator in the beginning is definitely disappointed that he only got a dime instead of a bike for his birthday. He didn't like that his father only gave him that amount. When he had a job, he couldn't understand. My dad has a job. Why is he only giving me a dime for my birthday? I wanted a bike. And he's super sad then when he realizes that his dad doesn't have a job and he is selling apples on Webster Ave. So it's definitely what he's thinking, definitely what he's feeling. In his mind, he's like, wait, I thought my dad had a job. Oh, like now he doesn't have a job, he's selling apples. Maybe that's why I got a dime for my birthday and not a bike. And he's thinking and feeling all of these feelings. And then towards the end, I think he feels really proud that he's able to help his family by selling newspapers in front of the stadium. So then, back to my favorite question. What are some of the changes in behavior? What's causing the change? How did they act in the beginning versus how they act now and why? So our narrator definitely changes throughout our story. Even though The Babe and I is only a short story and it's, technically a picture book, there's still a lot of changes in our character. So in the beginning of the story, our narrator is very ungrateful and spoiled because he was upset that he only got a dime and he wanted more as a birthday gift. However, when he learned that his dad was earned that dime by being one of the apple sellers and not by having an actual job, another job that he thought he had, he definitely became more appreciative and understanding of what his father's going through. He definitely understood why he only got a dime for his birthday. And towards the end, he starts to earn money by becoming a newspaper seller to help his family through the hard time. So he went from being ungrateful and upset with his dad and not understanding to really understanding what was going on with his dad, with his family, and also finding that motivation to help them get through the tough times. So our narrator definitely changes even in that short period of time. So this is the model of what I did for The Babe and I that you are going to do for your own main character in your own historical fiction book. So on this last slide, you're going to fill in your character's name. You're going to fill in your character's name, what are their roles and responsibilities, their struggles and motivations, their perspective of how they're thinking and how they're feeling, and how they've changed in the book so far. So you can refer back to this slide of The Babe and I that I made an example of for you to be able to do this. Up here on this dotted line goes your name. This is your response. And then you're going to fill in this chart, so with your own main character of your historical fiction book that you're reading. Okay, happy reading. Good luck.